So thank you everyone for coming to this Rakuten Technology Conference, and thank you for joining this session. So Aquafadas is a digital publishing company based in France. Today we have the Chief Technology Officer, Matthew Kopp, with us today. Welcome, Mr. Kopp, from France. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So this talk is titled Bringing Story to the World. And as was said, Aquafadas is part of the Rakuten group since 2012. And we are based in France. Most of the team is in the south of France, but we have also a team in Paris and a team in New York. We were acquired by Kobo and as such are part of Rakuten. So our story is all about telling stories into a digital world. And you might ask, what is a story? Well, it really depends on who you are. As a publisher, a story could be a book or could be a magazine. And as a comic artist, as a manga artist, a story is a manga maybe. And as a merchant on Ichiba, maybe a story is a catalog of the things you're selling. As a car manufacturer, maybe my story is a personalized user guide for the new car you're buying. And these are all use cases we see. As a teacher, a story might be a textbook or a really personalized textbook. And as a CFO of a company, maybe the story is a financial report. So stories are everywhere, and everyone has his own. And there is a need to bring the stories in a very beautiful and compelling way. And why is that? It's because there is so much competition in the things you can do on a tablet, on a smartphone. I mean, so many apps, so many games, so many things that are visually extremely entertaining. And there is a competition for audience time. Quality, entertainment value. And also you need to meet your audience. And your audience is on devices that count. I mean, as we know how many people have smartphones, about 2 billion smartphones in 2015 is huge. And you need to be on the places that count in this world that's highly social. And just a statistic of 650 billion WeChat users in Q3 of 2015, so you need to be there if you want to reach your audience. And of course, stories are to be shared because it's a social world and discussed as much as possible. So what is a story? Usually stories are made of words, pictures, media, and there's a device that sort of that's going to display that story. It can be black and white ink reader, or it can be a colored smartphone, tablet, or computer. And then there's an audience that's going to consume that story, and consuming means reading, but could be also learning, or learning to read, or interacting in a sort of more general way, playing, maybe buying, and hopefully coming back to it. So we try to do that through technology, and I'm going to run through a number of demos of things we do, and some of the tools we're using and that we've built to enable that sort of interaction, making those stories alive through a number of tools. We try to build things. So I'm just going to put the sound down a little bit. These are just examples of, this is a magazine, a Thai magazine about learning to fight. This is a children book where with a physics engine you can move the leaves around. It has games in it as well. This is another game where you can actually create those scenes. This is part of a book. You want the story to be alive, so people come back to it because there is an entertainment value. This is a catalog. This is another magazine about cinemas, about movies. Here is a James Bond article. I'm running through those things just to show you how they can look. This is all running from an iPad. This is a magazine with high quality content, interactive, with access to maps, access to videos, And all this content has been built by designers. There's no coding involved in all of that. So I wanted to go and talk about 4 sort of aspects of building a story. And one is from legacy content, which is existing content. One is by creating something from scratch, by hand. And then there is a thing about storybots, which is creating stories automatically and maybe some new experiences. So this is an example of a book that exists as a paper book and has been enhanced to add videos and things like that. And this book brings a story to life that's more than just the paper book. So there is a video, there is some enhanced reading experience in that book. I can really easily read through the text because the engine is driving me through the text, and it's even more applicable on a smartphone where you usually have to sort of pan around those PDFs and stuff. So this is an enhanced story, and it has some great visuals with very high definition objects, like, for example, here I'm still showing how to read. I'm reading something that interests me, so I can go back to the beginning of the article in just one click. And all this sort of reading experience can be constructed using using artificial intelligence. This is how much detail you can get in those books. Obviously, you can't get that when you visit the museum and go close enough to the paintings. There is a lot of legacy content, and there is a big challenge to actually bring that content to tablets. And one of the challenges is to sort of try to put it in a way that can be really easy to read. So analyzing it, trying to deconstruct it into something that can be reconstructed in another format. This is an example of a newspaper in France where you can see all these pages, and there is a much easier way to read the original PDF, which is going through those sort of reflowable text where you can increase the font size. Also, you get a table of content, and this is done automatically by analyzing the initial content. This is an example of some other tools that we're using on legacy content. Here is an upcoming tool to translate manga. So here we are actually showing how we can add to an existing content a translation, and even sort of enhance the reading experience. This is content for kids.
Sesame Street, S'more! A magazine for kids like you.
So this is learning content from Sesame Street.
Hi, I'm Chris from Sesame Street. We're so glad you're here.
So here you will learn how to play with letters.
See the shapes at the top of the screen? Look for the matching object in the picture. Tap it in the picture.
So all these experiences are created using some dedicated tools. This is another example in the magazine world. Here it's about the Rugby Cup, and this content is created by hand, but it's highly interactive and brings news as well as quiz and lots of content. This is all magazine with great navigation, news content, interactive text, and etc. So the next frontier is about creating stories automatically, and this is an example of a tool where we let a designer create the sort of templates of the story, and then there is a rules engine and maybe some artificial intelligence later on that can grab content from feeds from the internet and pull it into those matching criteria and filter based on whatever criteria is there to build a magazine that is completely customized for the user or for the week of the day or the day of the week, whatever. And then after running those rules, you'll see a magazine appear on screen that looks like it's been professionally edited by some graphic designer, and is actually totally built from raw data and from rules and some graphic rules. Another frontier for us is all these new user experiences, and one of them is gamification. This is an example of a financial report. Can be quite boring, and in this example they actually add some games. Here you have to match those things, and then you get extra data, extra information if you manage to match those images. So here it's about energy. Another example here, with a finger you can play with these windmills, and it really adds something to the story you're telling. This is another magazine, and here what they've experienced is adding gamification to ads. So you see great content, and then you have some ads. The first one is just going to add some animation, so that makes the ad more compelling. But the next one, and this is interesting because they've measured, you have to actually match the eyes. It's like a memory game, and they've measured that women would spend maybe between 10 and 15 minutes on the ad rather than just skipping over it in a paper magazine. And I've been playing that. It takes me 10 minutes to get it right. So this is a great way to enhance the experience. One of the last examples I want to show you is how you can use these new user experiences to create a companion app for a magazine. So this is a catalog, paper catalog, and you can use the app to access some extra content. So you just scan the current page you're viewing, and it will recognize in which issue of the catalog it is, go straight to the right page. And then from that page, you can either access extra content like videos or even some interactive content. Later on, you'll see, for example, how you can change the colors or place new furniture in the room. Here is accessing a video, etc. So you can really use tell a more compelling story by using those tools. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you very much. We are here if you have any more questions or want to see some further demos. Thank you for your time.
Do we still have the Q&A session? Any questions? Oh, do you all prefer intimate conversation afterwards? Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I guess it was all clear then.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.